And we meet again. Well, let's go. Oh, look at my graphic. Oh man, my graphic messed up. Let me take that away until I fix that. Hey. So we meet again on a Tuesday night. Normally a off day, kind of get yourself together for the week ahead, preparing for the Atlanta Falcons. But no, I'm here to talk to you about the Carolina Panthers. David Tepper releasing Coach Ron Rivera of his duties. So let me introduce myself. My name is Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media for Charlotte Vibe, covering the Carolina Panthers. And tonight, I had the privilege of sitting in the room with David Tepper as he talked to some reporters in detail about his decision to fire Ron Rivera. And, I always like to give some backstories behind the scenes and set things up for you. So I'm going to get into that. But because this might be a hot topic, I am going to allow a minute for some people to sign on because it's an interactive conversation. I know you can go back and watch it, but I'm going to allow a minute for some people to sign on here as we get ready to talk about this situation. I'm doing something real quick, so sorry for tuning out for a split second. Fix my graphic there. What's up, Loxbane? What's up, Alton Moore? What's up, B. Evans? You heard me ask Tepper. You didn't hear me ask Tepper a question. The reason I'm going to say you didn't hear me ask Tepper a question is because there was a separate time where Tepper got to meet with the video media, and I wasn't in that. So the time that I got to talk to Tepper was no video cameras were allowed. Only was able to have voice recorders, and it was pretty cool. I'm definitely going to tell you about that here in a second. And somebody asked, was I going to get online? You know I'm going to get online. Whoa, Lewis James. You know what, Lewis, I'm glad that you did that. So one thing I forgot to say, and then I'm going to go right into everything, is Charlotte Vibe is 100% independent media, which means I get to do a lot of fun stuff with interviews and share my opinion and live videos like this for as long as I want to. But I'm also supported 100% by your donations, your contributions. So very important that you guys do so. If you're able to do so, you can do that through Super Chats, which will guarantee that I answer your question. And there's also Cash App links, PayPal links, and my GoFundMe page that's available for you to do so. So Lewis James, greatly appreciate you, and I'm going to get to your question here shortly. Ali Broderick, what's up? Antoine Henderson representing Zone 3 in the ATL. I will be in your city in a couple of days, well, about 5 days. The NFL nerd has mixed emotions. I'm happy about this, but it saddens me to it. Just hope that it was the right decision. So let me give you guys a little setup that I like to about how this went down. So normally the media meets in a little auditorium room, which you guys may have seen in videos where you see Ron Rivera, Kyle Allen, and those guys talking. But today, I had the honor of being able to go actually upstairs, which is honestly where media never goes, to another room, very large room it was, to meet with David Tepper and ask him questions about his decision regarding Ron Rivera. And as we're approaching, he's actually sitting out front, if you will, at the desk before you go down this hall. And he's looking like a guy that has just made a big decision, just looking like a guy who's made a big decision, and now we got to move forward. So that's a little bit of background. In this room, I was actually lucky enough to be, I say lucky because one thing I don't have from you guys is I love my job. I think it's the coolest thing in the world. I was one person over from Tepper. It was Tepper, David Newton, and then me. So pretty cool experience. And one other thing I'm going to talk about, then I'm going to spend most of this time talking with you guys, is Rivera. One thing that one part of the media that I do not like is it's always free for all. So you have these press conferences, and it's like jumping in. Who can jump in and get a question? And I'm not that kind of person. I hate trying to jump in. It feels awkward to me a lot of times. I'm getting more used to it, but it's still not something I like to do. At the end of Tepper's meeting, he made sure he said that did everybody get a chance to ask a question? And, it wasn't a big response from those that were in attendance. And they pointed to a few people, do you? And like, yeah, okay, we're good. So I love that. I love that and excited about this future. So let me go ahead and get to these super chats because you know what? I need y'all desperately. The travel bill, credit card companies really like me right now. So Louis James, did you think there was a chance that was going to be Ron's last post-game interview question when you asked? Wow. So, at the time that I asked Ron that question, no, I did not think that I would get to ask him his very last post-game question. I don't know if I want any kind of certificate or whatever you will of that. And that was a little bit of a weird moment too, because I went to ask him the question several times and other people interrupted me. And it was at the end of the press conference, he just looked at me and I'm thinking, well, I was trying to ask a question. At this point, I was over it. But in retrospect, as I did a live video the other day, I said that was a very different tone that I've ever seen from Ron Rivera in the press conference. And I won't say he looked defeated, but I said that he just seemed like he knew that change was probably going to happen. And I felt like he took time to answer questions on Monday a little bit differently. And I'm not saying that he knew absolutely, like Tepper said, hey, win Sunday or else. But I'm just thinking that with the conversations that he's had with Tepper, he knew that he wasn't going to be there much longer. And I don't think he may have known that it was going to be today. But I felt like he knew it's not going to be a good chance that I return. So the interesting thing is I think we'll get a chance to meet with Ron again. And if that happens, I will share that with you guys. One second. Sorry about that, live TV, but gotta respond to my kid. And Allie Broadwick just said lunch on me. Allie, you know what? Honestly, I wish it could be lunch on you, but gotta travel down to Atlanta. The car's gonna take more than $10 worth of gas. The hotel room is definitely over $100. So I'm gonna put it towards that. And hey, very much appreciate you guys. Anytime that you can give $1, $5, again, it helps me to run this thing and provide you guys this coverage and these setups like you have right now. So in terms of who do I think will hire for a new coach, I'm going to be honest, that's going to be a process that these guys are starting to hit real heavy right now. I have no idea, have coach scouts, who's available, who's going to be fired. I don't know why I'm losing my voice so much. I don't have any ideas on that, but I can speak to what Tepper said that he'd be looking for. And he's looking for a guy that's old school in his mentality, but he's looking for somebody that's going to be offensive minded. He mentioned that the way that the NFL has gone, and especially with NFL rule changes, that the NFL is obviously this modern era, as he referred to it, is built on the offensive side. So he can't say that he's not going to hire a defensive-minded guy, but he feels that there's a lot of appeal to an offensive-minded guy, offensive-minded guru to be the next head coach so that he could take advantage of what he, again, calls the modern NFL. And he wants that guy to be somebody that will use new technologies, use analytics, use every bit of thing that he can as far as new technology and evaluating performance, plays, tendencies, trends to maximize their coaching, to maximize their play calling. And he didn't even limit it there. He also said, stuff in the weight room, bringing as much technology as you can into the weight room to optimize people's performance, their results, is what he's looking for in that next coach that he wants them to embrace. So who, I don't know, but those qualities are what he says that he's going to be looking for. And he's going to hire a team of people to do that. It's not just going to be him talking to his buddies. He's going to have a team internally that's going to be helping with that search. It's going to be people from the business side that's helping. It's going to be people from the football side. And collectively, they're going to get this search on and try to find them a new head coach. Yeah, Shaqid, you hate it for Ron, but it was the right move. Absolutely. I think a lot of people, if you look on Twitter, see a lot of players, former and current players, talking about not only was he a good coach, but he was like a great guy, a good, genuine guy. And so these kind of moments make you take a step back and look at the fact that these are human beings. I know we get pretty mad about things when they're not going good, and hey, you should be fired, and hey, this and that. But when somebody does get released, you do. I think most people take a step back and say, well, sad for him as a person, his family, what he has to go through. But I still feel like it was a good move, and I feel like that sadness is something that you saw when we were speaking to David Tepper tonight. Being that close to that man as he's talking about it, you could feel that emotion for it. And he said regarding that conversation with Ron that it was very emotional. It was very, very difficult. And Tepper was asked a question about, I don't remember exactly, but it was something about fans and being upset and dealing with this and replacing this man. And he just took a moment and said, I'm sad. Ron's a good guy, and I'm not just putting up a front with you guys. He's an outstanding guy. So that's just to give you guys, again, some story behind the words that you will hear and see, which is what I love to do while I'm going live now, to talk with you guys about my experience with that meeting tonight with David Tepper as he discussed the release of Ron Rivera and what is to be ahead. Altamore, this team needed this change. Firing Ron during the season was a statement. So, yeah, firing Ron during the season was a statement, but again, I'm here to give you guys the facts, and you can run with them from there and make your own determinations. That's some things that you might hear in general from the media as people try to make their assumptions, which, that's what we do about things. But Tepper tonight said that it was also about him maintaining a competitive edge. He did not want to lose that ability to be ahead of the curve and be able to strike at the first opportunity for somebody that becomes available, or even just getting his group internally together to be able to find that guy. He didn't want to wait until week 17 and say, all right, now everybody gets together, now people start. He wanted to have a little bit of a head start in doing that, and it hurt him that he had to release Ron right now. He did not want to release Ron at this point in the season, before the season ends. But again, he felt like that competitive advantage was needed. And, the guy's smart. The guy's made billions of dollars for being able to think unemotionally to make the best decision for your business. And I think that's what this really was a result of. And feel free to send me some more super chats, guys. And if you don't know how to super chat, not going to beat you guys silly to do this, but if you don't know how to super chat, when you do go to send a chat to me on YouTube, there's a little dollar sign that you can see. You can hit that icon and pop on over and ask some questions. So feel free to do that. What's up, Greg Roman? I don't know what that comment was, so I'll keep it moving. Reading some of you guys' comments here. All right, so there's a comment here. Kyle Ellis, I'm scared there are going to be a lot of growing pains over the next few years. So about that, I forget the exact question that Tepper was asked, but his response was he knows that it's going to take time, and he's going to try his best to get it right. And he wants fans to understand it's going to take time. It's not going to be next year, hey, we're 12-4. He said, it'll be great. He'll certainly take it if it happens, but he's not going into it with that expectation. He knows that change takes some time. He knows one of the reasons that he discussed in making this change and letting go of Ron Rivera, beyond the mediocrity, was the fact that he needed a culture change. And when he first came in, he saw a lot of stuff that was not correct on the business side. he actually said it was a wreck. And he said, you know, I've said it before. He felt like the business side was a wreck. There were a lot of things not in place that he felt needed to be in place. That he felt like people were scared to do their jobs. He felt like people were afraid to be innovative. And he felt like he could come in and make those changes to this organization immediately because they wouldn't so much affect the product that the fans and people are seeing. And he wanted a chance to see that a little bit more before he made those changes on the football side. And after determining that that culture change was needed, you know, the best way to do that is remove those people that have been there during that time. No matter how much Ron Rivera may want to change, he'd have to do, the best way to start a big change is new scenery, new blood, as he says, in the organization. So that was a very anchoring thing for him in making this change with Ron Rivera. And like, again, going back to the initial chat question there, he's trying to make this a methodical process. He's also put in new positions. I believe he said like there were only 2 executives or senior members on the business side before. Now there's 9. He has 7 new people. And one of the things that he's learned in his success of business is there's a management structure that he feels is crucial to any business succeeding. He put that in place immediately on the business side, and now he's doing that on the football side. So you see that there's 2 new positions, football operations and assistant general manager, and he's going to split things up. So, yeah, you don't know what's going to happen, but just on the outside looking in and hearing Tepper talk tonight, he's certainly putting things in place to not make it where it's 5 years before we start to see results. So that's something I believe to be optimistic about. Antoine Henderson saying Bill Cowher as the next coach. How do I think this will affect the players in terms of their performance? Cup of coffee for your throat. Man, I'm going to tell you guys, let me be very honest. I think it's the pitch in which I'm talking on these videos that'll wear my throat out. And so I'm be honest, I'm trying to find the tone that doesn't make my voice crack, because I could be talking for an hour, then I get in front of here and I start talking and projecting, and then I so I appreciate the $4.99 for the cup of coffee. And actually, you know what it is? Whenever I try to talk higher, I think it wears down my voice. Whenever I talk regular, people are like, why are you talking deep? But anyway, appreciate it, B. Evans. Will the new coach have a major say in whether they stick with Cam or move on? Good question, Evans. Tepper did directly talk about that. Let me get to my notes so I can try to speak properly on that part. Give me 1 second on that Cam Newton part. Trying to quickly look through my notes, and I'm not finding, but I know one thing that Tepper first said when he's asked about that is that's going to be something that's up to the new coach, and he can't have that conversation about what would happen with Cam because it doesn't have a new coach. But then he went on to say it's still going to start with they have to get him healthy. And I wish I'd have thought of this during the time. I would have liked to ask Tepper, well, pending, let's say Cam Newton is healthy, do you say he needs to be on this team? But again, I didn't think of that question to ask him during that time. But I can give you my opinion. I don't think all the changes today makes an indicator one way or the other about the future of Cam Newton with Carolina. I really don't think that makes that the moves today make that a strong case one way or the other. I still feel like first thing is evaluating if he is healthy. And then after he's healthy, you're going to want to see a little bit of him in action. That's what I feel like. I know you don't have good action until you get deep into the season with OTAs and training camp, but how's he going to respond? I think it's fair to say that it's just going to be a 50-50 thing with Cam, and you're not going to know until we get much closer with other movement of things happening. By the way, somebody give me one more super chat so I can get over $19. That's an odd number. What are people saying over here on Twitter? What did you think of his referencing the Steelers? Didn't they have their own problems? Kate, can you, if you are still online, repeat that question or give me more information? What did I think of his referencing the Steelers? Even under old school discipline. Yeah, if you could, I am not completely understanding that question. So I wouldn't mind answering it if you could try to help me follow along with you there. Somebody's so upset they don't even know where I stand being a Panther fan. Hey, stand tall. One thing is, no, I shouldn't say you should be happy that Ron's gone, but be happy that there's some change to make things better. Definitely, Ron is on a personal side, you don't like to see that, but from the sports side of the team winning, I think there's a good reason to be optimistic about this. Yeah, in terms about all their future moves, Cam's role, other players' role, who's not going to be here, what are going to do with draft picks, that's many layers down the road. It's right now it's just a really big evaluation period. Even for the interim head coaches, it's an evaluation period for him. And something like what they're going to do with draft picks is a little tough for me to get into. Ron Ring of Honor. Nah, I don't think you could put Ron in the Ring of Honor because the guy, he had success, but he didn't have consistent success. And I think that's what you need for a Ring of Honor. I mean, he had a good run. I think it was 9 years, but the last 3 years, because you can count, they're not going to make the playoffs this year. He hasn't made the playoffs. I mean, since the Super Bowl, they have a losing record. So, Ring of Honor, either, in my opinion, you got to have, from a coach's perspective, you got to have at least won some Super Bowls, which he hasn't done. Yeah, so I'm just going to stop there. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. He's not a player where you can say he played at a consistent high level. So, no, he doesn't get the Ring of Honor, but I do appreciate him, respect him as a person. Kyle Ellis, how would the NHL community respond? You saying the NHL community is rough? Give me some more feedback on that, Kyle. Altimore, he's not the richest NFL owner for no reason. I trust Tep. Yeah, guys and girls. One thing that, I'm a businessman. I own Charlotte Vibe, and I go to pick up from other business owners whenever I can, whether I'm directly asking them a question or not. And one thing that you can see with David Tepper is that he has a lot of confidence, but he also has a lot of intelligence with that. And one of the things that he said many times tonight was learning from your mistake and being willing to take that risk and fail. And it's okay that you fail, but then admit that you fail and come back the next day and do something different. And I feel like that played a role. I mentioned about changing the culture, so that definitely played a role. But that played a role in his decision. I don't feel like he saw that enough for Ron Rivera to say, hey, okay, you messed up. You lost one game to a team you shouldn't have. That's all right. That's fine. I'm willing to stay with you, but let me see something different. Oh, you lost another game to a bad team. All right. You kind of taking me to the edge here, Ron. Let me see you come out and do some wildcat, some reverses, some new players, some something. And he didn't see enough of that. And I think I talked about this before. Ron Rivera does good when his back is up against the wall, but sometimes he's waiting too long to have that urgency to make some changes. Can't read all y'all comments tonight, but I'm enjoying talking with you. Cam being unhealthy because of taking hits caused losses over 2 seasons caused by the O-line. Improve the O-line right away or keep losing. Yeah, yeah. The offensive line has just been, you know, some bad things happen on the offensive line. We're going to continue to see some changes. And my promise to you all that are tuned in, watching or watching the replay, is that I am going to be in that stadium talking to players, talking to coaches as much as I can. Here's a little plug. That's why your donations for me to do so helps, because I'm supported 100% by you guys. But I will certainly do everything that I can to get you answers and get you information so you can make your decisions about things this team is doing. Tepper was not asked when he made the decision, but he said it was a combination of the Atlanta loss and then the Redskins loss that brought him to his end. And he also said about the new interim coach that he's put in place that he wants him to try to win. He wants him to put people in an opportunity to win, but he wants them to keep it simple, kind of gradually go into this. So it's not like, hey, you're the coach now on Tuesday night, change everything for a game on Sunday. He said he told them to keep it simple, and he's also not putting a lot of weight on this Atlanta game. Meaning, yeah, he's trying to win, but if they come out and they're not successful against Atlanta, it's a little bit of a gimme there that he's giving the guy because of this change at this point. But he does believe in this guy. He put him there for a reason, so he is eager to see how he does and evaluate his moves from there. Another thing he did say is Marty Herney is an excellent college talent. Sorry, I thought I heard a beep. But Marty Herney, he believes, is an excellent college evaluator of college talent. And that's why he's bringing in these other roles, because he feels like he'll have one guy that's excellent on the college side, and then he'll have another guy that's on the NFL side, and it just also gives some balance to the operations where if one guy's out on the road, Marty Herney is, they can still come and talk to this other guy that's in the stadium and making some decisions. And Marty Herney will have a role in hiring the assistant general manager. So that is something that was also spoken to us tonight. No surprise, as soon as I say Marty Herney, somebody says Marty Herney is awful. Some more questions about who do I have in mind for the head coach. Hey, this just happened tonight, guys, and it took me this long to get here to do this. For the most part, throughout the week, I'm a one-man operation, so I haven't had a chance to see what's out there in terms of that. Somebody says, shouldn't we just tank? Shouldn't we just tank? You know what? We're going to make this interactive, so I'm going to put that question out there for you all, and then I'm going to respond. Should we just tank the rest of the season? Go. Let me see your comments below. I'm gonna tell you mine, but I want to see you all's comments. Oh, B Evans, you know I got you, man. I got you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody. I had a live show this weekend, and I'm going to continue to do the live show at Bank of America Stadium an hour and a half before the game. You're welcome to walk by. Come on. It'll be an hour and a half before the game. I can't do the backwards math right now, but that's on the north gate by that little parking garage. So if you go into the game next, not this week, but next week, stop by and see me. Come on the live show, ask a question, vent. I love to have you on. Shaki, how do you know that we're having a meeting with Ron Rivera tomorrow morning at 8:20? Tell me that. How do you know? How do you guys be finding out some of the stuff that we get about knowing when to meet? But yes, yes, Ron Rivera tomorrow. Un momento, por favor. Gotta keep clearing my throat and drinking my water. All right, all right. Let me get back to these questions here. Would you say you admire Tepper's tenacity and willingness to put a long-term plan in place? You absolutely got to respect this guy's, in my opinion, you have to respect this guy's vision. He's a billionaire. And he's not just a single billionaire, he's a many times over billionaire. And he's probably continuing to grow his business. So, yeah, I mean, in short, without talking all night about my little observations from the way that he spoke with the media tonight, his things that he said, yes, I have confidence in David Tepper that he's going to have a good plan. Now, you can't guarantee this is going to work, but I do guarantee this. If it's not working, there will be change. And I'm not saying that people have to be fired, but I mean, again, going back to his whole, because he asked me this question directly when I was talking to him about how he's going to evaluate the coach to have this old-fashioned mindset, but adopt these new technologies. He's like, have you, he said, oh man, do you know when you're wrong? I was like, no, I don't. He's like, that's right. So I don't, it's all right if you mess up, but learn from it, admit it, and then do something different. Do not hire me as a head coach. I do not want that lifestyle. I have enjoyed traveling more this season, but when the traveling's done, I kind of stay here at home, get some things done. I will be a happy camper. And all that, those long hours, I mean, they have some god awful hours. God, family's important to me, man. Extremely important. I want money. I'm not saying those coaches do it just for the money, but that's why it wouldn't have any appeal for me. Just going through these comments here, so bear with me on the pause. Oh, okay. So now we're going back to the tanking question. Uh, no, we should not tank. Hell no. Nope. Hell no. One person said, yeah, rest of the season, but not after that. So tanking, no, absolutely not. Because it's all about a culture change, and you don't want to put these guys, you don't want to put the Luke Kuechly's, the Christian McCaffreys, the Shaq Thompsons, the DJ Moore in this tank mode, because we still have some young people to develop, man. Like, there's going to be some turnover, but you look at the core. And let's just say Kyle Allen's going to be the guy. Just because he's here right now. Kyle Allen, young guy, needs snaps, needs repetition, needs real type action to deal with. DJ Moore, young guy, developing, about to have his first 1,000-yard season. Curtis Samuel, about to have his 1,000-yard. No, I'm sorry. Curtis Samuel, still developing. Christian McCaffrey, this guy is. Realize that athletes that are really good also have really big egos and really big drives. And I'm not saying egos in like a negative way, but they're super driven. They don't like failing. Christian McCaffrey, I can assure you, would not be like, nah, it's okay that we tank. Nah, he's going to be pissed off. And I don't think you want, there's a lot of young pieces on this team that will return. You don't want them to have to go through that. You want them to get this camaraderie built up, to feel some wins, to feel some life, to feel like they're doing something positive. And we're already, what are we, 5-7? I could be wrong there a little bit on that record, but we're not in a position to get up number 1 draft pick, number 2 draft pick. So losing at this point is not going to propel us to some great position to get somebody to help with the team. So that's my 2 cents. Let me, I wish I had a bell to ring, something to chime. Something great. Lewis James, thanks for covering the Panthers and Hornets. Appreciate it. Lewis, I got to do something for you, man. You just submitted $50 over to the Charlotte Vibe. Continue to do what we do. Tremendous appreciation for it. So shoot me a message. There's no secret on what my email address is, cjenkins@charlottevibe.com. Lewis, shoot me a message, man. I am going to do something for you that I got to think about. I don't want to go live and say something too much, but send me a message so I can have your contact information so I can show some more appreciation for that. I appreciate everybody, but for him to do that is spectacular. Kelly, Chris, I appreciate your level-headedness, especially in these types of situations. You don't let us get too far out there. Keep doing what you're doing. God bless. Yeah, again, my thing, there are some really good people out there in the media world. There's some really good analytical people. There's some really good, just all over the place, right? And I just felt like in this market and in this world of sports reporting that there's a place for just reporting the facts, reporting a little bit of more behind the scenes setup to when somebody says something, what the rumors look like, what their body language was, and then let you fans decide how you want to take that. And if you guys want to ask my opinion, I'll tell you, but I'll be clear and let you know if I have inside sources telling me that or if I'm just going on intuition. So I appreciate everybody's positive words tonight, and I will definitely continue to bring you coverage. And I will be at Ron Rivera's press conference that's very early in the morning to let you guys know what I see and think. Lewis James. Yeah, Locke, that is definitely the biggest one yet. No tanking. All right, reading through these comments. And let me tell you guys this, because I think we're about to be rounding up here. I'm going to tell you a few more things that I have from my notes with the meeting with Tepper tonight. And I'm not tanking on you guys either, right? So I'm not going to stop traveling. I'm not going to stop, even I think I'm saying double negatives. But what I'm getting at is player interviews was things that I started years ago. You're now seeing more media members do it. And I haven't done but about 2 or 3 one-on-one player interviews this season so far. I am going to ramp it up a lot to make sure that I get through as many of the 2019 draft picks and some of the veteran players that always are willing to come on my show and talk with you guys so you all can get to know them, ask questions, see us play games to see who wins. So I think if my memory's correct, I got about 7 guys that I need to talk to. And all these shows, I may do the go-kart, I may have to do that recorded. But all these shows that I do, they're going to be live and give you a chance to interact. So I know you may be disappointed about this season, but I'm still going to bring you that ability to talk with these players, to get to know them. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and also turn on the bell notifications because you'll miss the live part to interact with these guys. And yeah, I want to make sure I brought that in there. So I'm going to read through a few more questions and then I'm going to get off of here. Say this voice for questions for Ron Rivera in the morning. Play to win, play to win. Carboni posted it. All right, somebody's saying something about a tweet that I haven't been able to answer. So give me a second for me to look up something so I can try to properly answer this question. By the way, Nick Carboni is one of the people that I do want to come on the show. He is from WCNC. Let me see if I can play this. Hold on, I'm going to mute my audio so I can listen. So I'm still not seeing this. Yeah, I'm sorry. Whatever the Nick Carboni tweet was, if you could just tell me it in full and I'll answer that before I get off. I don't want to have you guys watch me read the screen too long, but I couldn't see that. Turner, do I see Greer getting some play these next few games? I don't. I don't see that happening because Tepper mentioned that, I think this was shortly after being asked a question about Cam Newton. He mentioned that, hey, we have three quarterbacks, Cam Newton, Kyle Allen, and Will Greer. Cam, who's currently hurt, Kyle Allen, who's currently young and learning and doing well. And then you have Will Greer, who we are bringing along in a traditional manner. That is all he said, but what I read from him saying we will bring along, who we are bringing along in a traditional manner means, hey, traditional for quarterbacks, if you're not a first round draft pick, and even those guys have to wait a year sometimes, is to let them take their time to develop. Let them take their time to have 2 years, maybe even 3 years, but 2 years under their belt. So this is Will Greer's rookie season. I don't even feel like with that statement, those words from David Tepper, that they are in any rush to see Will Greer out there. Good question. I like these questions. Here's a question, Chris. You've been in B of A like I have. No energy has been there lately. What will it take to get that back? What will this rejuvenate the fan base? Okay. So you guys were talking about Nick Carboni because you know about the meeting tomorrow with Coach Ron Rivera. It's going to be at about 8:15, 8:20ish. Yes, I'll be there. That is how you guys know. Okay, some media member tweeted it out, which is cool. And then the other question about what is it going to take to bring that energy and life back into the stadium? I think change. Anytime you have change, there's new hope. And that's one of the reasons that David Tepper mentioned that one of the reasons in letting Ron Rivera go is getting that culture change. Getting that culture change should get you different results. And yeah, a new coaching staff, a new owner, a new bubble, all these new things that they're trying to do. I think that's all you can ask for, to have some hope and to put fans and energy back into that stadium. Because once they start winning, I mean, how could you not have energy if that's happening? But I think the energy will easily be there because there's so much change taking place to do that, and it certainly gives you hope for that. Alrighty. Appreciate you, Dwayne Bannister. Chris, how did you get notified about the firing, and how do you get notified that Tepper was speaking today? So basically, the Carolina Panthers has a PR team, press release team, public relations team, I'm sorry. And they send out information to the media as soon as things happen for us to take action accordingly. So you get that email from them, and then you act. So that is how we find out. And once we get to the stadium, they tell us more information about how certain things will go down. Certainly, there's some times where we have access to information, but we can't. We're asked to hold on to it for a minute. And other times, I mean, there's just a plethora of things. But that's how I know. The team contacts me directly through an email, letting me know. Please get the Spider-Man so Lauren can date him. I had talked to Brian Burns about being on the show early this season. He's definitely, I'm trying to get all the 2019 draft picks. So, yeah, I think I stand a pretty good chance of having Brian come on. All right, so, hey, I'm going to go ahead and round out this broadcast. It was great talking with everybody. I appreciate everybody. Again, want to give a big shout out to Lewis James, who was our leading donator tonight with $50 to Charlotte Vive so that I can continue with doing what I love to do and bringing you guys this coverage. It is quite costly to do so. I've been taking it upon myself, but need your support. So I appreciate when those who can do. And if you're not able to, which is totally fine, I get it. It's a lot of things I haven't been able to support, but I like. Just go ahead and hit that like button. When you hit that like button, it helps people find out about me on YouTube, which can help me be a larger audience, which makes it a whole lot easier to say, hey, Brian Burns, Will Greer, come on the show. We got all these people watching, and they come on. So thank you all for watching. I'm going to bed. See you tomorrow. Good night, and thanks for watching.